Hello, I'm Amy from Susie's Tools, and today we are going to go through how to make a slim, straight-sided lentil. This same information would be also applicable to an original thickness. I just went with the slim because that's what I grabbed, but same information. So we're going to start by laying a footprint. The footprint needs to be a little more narrow than the press is wide, and you want the footprint to be even and smooth, and we're looking for a nice bead end, so that's going to be our focus. The reason is the ends that you start with are going to dramatically affect the ends that you end up with. So we're going to marver that so we've got it nice on the ends, and it's a little short for that one, but that one's good. So I'm going to marver that back out, and we are going to use this cavity. And I'll show you again. So you're a little narrow than the press cavity is wide. Now what we're going to do is create a sphere. And the press is more narrow, like the low profile shape, the fact that it's a slim straight-sided lentil, so you're pressing the glass down, is going to make, a lot of times people think, oh, well, I don't want to go with a full round bead because then because it's not a sphere that I'm going for. That's why we go a little more narrow than the press is wide, so that there's room for that extra glass. But we do want to go with a sphere because we really want the glass to be proportionate, right? And so that's how you get a nice even shape, is you have a nice proportionate amount of glass. So as I heat this glass up, I am going to try not to get the bead ends too hot. I'm not going to have it go full into full round all the way. I'm going to still let there be a chubby amount of glass around the mandrel. Basically, I want nice bead puckers as I'm doing that. So here we are, we have our sphere. It has not pulled into the center to create sort of a sharp ends at all, so that's great. So now all I'm going to do is heat that up, put it in the press, lining up the Z's. Excellent. Alright, so this is going to let us do a little troubleshooting. So what I have here, I'm giving a little heat so it doesn't crack. So what I have here is, on this side, it's pretty much spherical, right? On this side, we've got little indents near the marver, and we've got a little extra glass that's sticking out here, which basically means I have a little too much glass for the press. However, there are low spots too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it all up again, because I think if I redistribute, I may not have too much glass. And that is the first line of defense whenever you're working with a press and you get a little bit of ridging happening. First thing to try is to heat it and repress, because while it's pressing, it's also cooling, and so sometimes it just doesn't fill in where you want it to fill in. And I'm going to do that trick one more time because I'm getting much closer. And this time I'm going to give it a little more heat on the side that doesn't have quite a complete sphere, where it's got the little indents. I'm going to heat that side a little bit more, and then I'm going to press. And there we are. So we have a little bit of an indent on that one edge there, and if I wanted, I think if I give it a little more heat there than the rest of the bead, still getting good heat all the way around, but I'm going to focus some heat on that divot, put it in there, Nice. Nice sphere. Look at that, goes all the way out to the edge. Now, if when we did that, we had too much glass, okay? And I guess we do have a little bit of a ridge that I just fire polished off. So say we have too much glass and we are getting a ridge. Then what you're gonna wanna do is take your tweezers and go to the side that has too much glass. Like this is just perfect. This side has a little more glass on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna heat and I'm gonna pull it out of the center. And the important piece of pulling the glass out of the center is you don't want to pull away out this way, because now you're gonna actually have some of the glass come out with it, right? So what you wanna do is keep the glass always in the center of the press, because that is using the physics of the press. And physics is not really something you can work around. So we're just gonna work with it. So I pulled out some glass. I now obviously have less glass on that side. I can visually see it. So I'm going to heat the whole thing up. Now sometimes what I will do is I'll put it in the press, pick it up, turn it, then press it. And the reason for that is I can get one side really nice and crisp and then press down the other one. And this is coming out really nicely. So what I'm doing now is I'm fire polishing. Whenever you are working with a press, you're going to need to fire polish, because you're taking really, really hot glass, molten glass, and you're putting it into a room temperature press. And so there's just going to be sort of this stress that happens, and it creates chill marks, which are just like little ridges or ripples on the surface. You don't really necessarily want those, so all you have to do is put a little heat back in. But when you do that, the center of the bead is not going to be molten anymore, just the surface is a little pliable. Okay, so yeah, it's less dramatic, there's less chill marks, it's really easy to fire polish these marks out, and that's what we're gonna do. So now we have a nice fire polished, perfectly round, slim straight sided lentil. Thank you very much for joining in. I look forward to sharing with you more ways to use your Zuzi's presses in the coming weeks. Have a beautiful night.